Welcome to Petty Talks with Deja, and today I want to talk about Bad Boys DR. So this is the third season of the Bad Boys. I really liked the first season, and I really liked the second season. A lot of people didn't like it. They said it was boring, but I just like the cast. I really like them. I really like Mo City, Relly, B, and Prince. And I think that Jonathan was on that one. But I just really like that cast. And in this cast, I really liked it. Again, a lot of people were saying that they did not like this season. I mean, this first episode that they just put out, but I personally liked it. So I do want to go over the actual cast because I haven't heard of any of them, honestly. I'm looking at them. I'm like, no, I haven't heard of any of them. So the first one was Island Boy. I actually did hear of him. He was on Bobby's show, and I did like him on there. He was, a little bit a lot, but he really brings stuff to the show. He's not on this episode because he had an issue with his passport that Natalie said. So he's gonna be on the next episode once he gets there. Then there was John the Don. A lot of people are saying that because of how he acted on the Cabin show, that's probably why he got casted on this, that he was just a lot. And he was a lot on this show too. But I think that, I don't know, he's just one of those people where he definitely portrays himself as like a bit of an asshole. And I don't like to kind of be one of those people where it's just like, oh, he's an asshole, but he's attractive. Because if somebody is an asshole, I usually don't like them. But I don't know. I kind of like John. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of taking him for what he is. Like, maybe you just don't expect too much from him. The next one was Pootie. I like Pootie, but the only thing I will say is, like, with him and Landon, I just hope that because they are coming in together, I know that people said that they've done stuff on, like, other shows, and they've said it too. They've been dating and stuff, and they're coming in here together. Like, I just hope that it's not giving, like, tag team duo. Yeah, I love a good tag team. I love two friends that come in together, and they dating or whatever, but I'm just like, I hope that they can stand on their own. But Pootie, he did already get into it with somebody and tried to fight. So, I get that. Stana, he wasn't on this episode. Or maybe he was. I just didn't see him. Paris, I liked Paris. Paris was just there kind of commentating. But it was being, like, very cool with everybody. Wasn't doing too much. Just kind of filling everybody out. And I personally like that. They seem like somebody who, they'll get the party started when they feel like they need to. And I like that. Then Jada, I like Jada. I was talking to my friend and they were like, they didn't like Jada because they felt like they were doing too much. I like Jada. Jada is the type of person where, yeah, I can fight. I can be cool. I can be whatever you want. Like, we can do it, whatever we gonna do. Or we can just sit here and we can have fun, I like Jada. I like it. The next one was Alpha Ant. Why was Alpha wearing somebody's son's damn toddler 2 jeans on his head? It looked like he's cut up a child's jean skirt, and just like sewed it together and made it a damn hat. It was so tacky wacky. Like, I don't know, fashion moves all the time. It goes linear, it goes backwards, it goes, up, down, sideways. So maybe his little fashion hats will do something. But even the one that he was showing in the confessional, it looked like a damn carnival tent. Like, there's one thing to, like, do fashion and kind of stand out, but there's another thing when the shit just don't look good. I don't know. But anyway, so the next one was Corey Samad. I don't know. Corey must have been on some coke or something. Must have been on something, like, making him very up and, like, at it. I'm just like, calm down, baby. Calm down. I tell you, he was finna fight everybody in there. If his finger hadn't got messed up, he would have fought every single person in that house, including Natalie, including the camera people. They was slanging his ass around. I don't not like him, but because his finger was messed up, he might be injury reserved. Next was Check the Star. I don't know. Check seemed like a good time or whatever. He seemed like a genuinely nice person. I don't think that he should be on the show because there was something that Link said. If I keep on coming at you, then I'm going to seem like I'm a bully. But I'm not bullying you. I'm just being a bad boy. This show isn't one where it's just like they're there to make friends. They're there to show that they can fight each other. They're there to drink. They're there to have a good time. But most of all, they're there to fight. So if you're not ready to fight, and if you're not ready to be on that, then what are you doing there? Anyway, so the next person is Cozy. When I tell you Cozy is so fine, Cozy is way too fine to be that corny. Like, Cozy give me that he definitely is a clout chaser or whatever. But Lord have mercy, that accent. Oh my gosh, that accent. Good Lord, good Lord, good Lord. Like, he from NOLA, baby. He from Louisiana. He from Louisiana the way he talking. I'm like, ooh, okay, Cozy. I don't want you to do nothing else but just stand there and talk. But then we have Noelle. Noelle seemed like a good time. I like Noelle. Noelle's one of the girls. Um, I just want Noelle to, like, be authentic. That's the only thing I'll say. I have to see more of Noelle, but I just want Noelle to be authentic. But we're gonna definitely talk about Noelle at the end of the show. Then, what is it, Shadi? If Shadi is who I think that they are, I did not like Shadi, but honestly, they were kind of forgettable. Like, I know that they fought somebody, and I'm kind of forgetting who they fought. But throughout the show, like, I think that they'll be, like, this is the first episode. I don't know none of these niggas, so after a while it'll be okay. But honestly, they were kind of forgettable. Like, even as I was watching it, because I was like, I know I have to review this, or I want to review it, I'm just like, who did you fight? Who were you again? Like, I remember your face because I remember them big ass lips. They look good. But I'm just like, I don't remember who you fought. Anyways. But then there was Landon. The same kind of goes with Pootie. I just hope that they stand on their own and actually do something. I was looking at Landon and I was like, oh my God, this is a fine man. Like, this is a very attractive person. Like, just the dark skin, everything. I was like, oh my gosh, but I just hope they stand on their own. And then Tremaine, Isaiah. I was looking at Tremaine and I was like, in the confessional, he looked like he had definitely taken a downer and he was looking like he dated men. But when he was talking to John the Don, he was saying, like, John was like, oh, you a F nigga to F niggas. And he was like, I don't want F niggas. Like, what are you talking about? And he seemed like but like when he wasn't in the confessional, he seemed like he was straight. So I'm just like, that was a little confusing to me. It was a little perplexing. I mean, if they is bad boys, so I mean, if he is gay, it just kind of is what it is. But he is fine though, gay or straight. I don't give a damn. He fine. But he definitely is one to, like, stand on business. Is he a good fighter? I say he'll take up for himself even if he win, lose, or draw. But I just like that he's there to fight. Not that he's there to fight. He's there to stick up for himself, and I feel like he does that. Lynx kind of reminds me of a Wayans brother. Like, he kind of reminds me of somebody that, I don't know, he kind of seems like he, like, makes a lot of jokes and stuff like that. Like, he seems like a funny person. Like, if he went into comedy stand-up, then I would understand that. But Lynx know how to fight. He not shy about it. So, but that was everybody that's, like, currently on this episode. They are supposed to be adding some other people back to the episode. Like, Big Banger. That, man, I'll tell you, I love Big Banger. Then they're supposed to be bringing back Jonathan. I think Jonathan in jail, so I don't know how that's supposed to work. And there's some other people. Like, once they bring him back, like Prince is my man. Me and Prince, we gonna get married. But but I like Prince. But anyway, so back to the actual episode of what happened. So they getting them out of the hotel room. And they putting them on a Sprinter van so they can take a 3-hour trek, a 3-hour tour. They taking a 3-hour trek over to the house that they supposed to be in. And that always gets so frustrating because I know that they want to have them, like, be on the bus going over there, giving the experience of, like, who they are and stuff. But it just kind of gets annoying sometimes because it's like, I want them to actually be there. I don't want to see them fighting in a Sprinter. It happens every single season. Like, baddies Gone Wild, and then, Bad Boys, all these shows like Jocelyn's Cabaret. I'm sick of seeing them in a Sprinter because that's the half of the episode. But what I will say about this, the reason why I did like this episode was because it didn't just happen like they were in a Sprinter, then they got to the house, and then we didn't see anything else. Oh no, this show gave you something. But anyway, so they're in a Sprinter, and then we see Tremaine, Isaiah, and I'll just say Tremaine because Tremaine and Isaiah sound like two people. But Tremaine, the light-skinned tall dude, that's fine, and Corey Samad said something to Tremaine, and they, started kind of going back and forth. And then John, the Don, he saw them about to start fighting. He kind of tried to get into it, in, like, between it. And he was like, no, y'all don't fight. And then Corey was on that, okay? But when I tell you, Tremaine whooped his ass a couple times, but Corey just kept on trying to, like, because you could tell he was activated. And I'm like, what kind of coke or drink he on? Like, because you could tell they hadn't started drinking at that point, which is so unusual for them. But they had not started drinking at that point. Like, they were calm, cool, collected. They were, just sitting on there, just trying to get to where it was going. Honestly, because it was in the DR, so it's probably hot. Like, it was sunny that whole time. They probably like, these niggas stink. Like, it was just a lot going on. So security's trying to like back him up, get him back. It did take a long time, like, of them being on the Sprinter, probably because they was probably driving like an hour away or something like that. You know how they do. It might have been in traffic or something, but it just seemed like the scene took a very long time, and they fought multiple times on that damn Sprinter. But it was just a lot. So then we see like the other Sprinter, because so many people, they have so many. And then we see that Lynx, he was talking about how he did have dreads at the audition, but I think it was Corey actually pulled the dreads out, but they were on different Sprinters. So the Sprinter that Lynx was on, he was telling them that. And then Sheck the Star, the white guy, he was like, yeah, somebody pulled my dreads out audition too, but my hair is real, my dreads are real. And Lynx, he kind of like looked, he was like, oh, ha ha, I get what you said, ha ha ha. He dapped him up a little bit. And then I think it was Paris. Paris was like, yeah, I mean, he dapping you up, but I know he need that. And when I tell you that Lynx needed that, he was like, you know what? We're going to get this fade in. We're going to be fine. But I need that. And then when I tell you, he whooped his ass. Lynx whooped Sheck the Star ass. And then that's just when it kind of get a little sad, because it's just like, Sheck, why are you here? Like, when I tell you fame is a hell of a drug, these people will go on there knowing that they can't fight, that they don't want to defend themselves, and they will put themselves in literal harm's way. Like, these people are out to hurt you physically. Like, if you can't be on the show, then don't be on the show. Like, and I'm not saying that I feel bad for Sheck, because I don't feel bad for him. He knew what he was signing up for, and I don't feel like Lynx is a bully. I feel like Lynx is doing what everybody else is doing. I do feel like at a certain point, Lynx would be a bully if he keeps on the same path. But, Sheck, like, it was something stupid to argue over and to fight over, but it just kind of is what it is. So then they get to the actual house. It was daytime when they left. It was nighttime when they got there. Natalie Nunn dressed like the damn Darth Vader, in this pointy shoulder pad leather situation. I'm like, girl, who is dressing you, and why are you dressed like this? I know that she stunk. And I'm not saying she stunk because she looks like a stinky girl. I'm saying because it was hot in the DR. She's sweating and she got on damn rubber. Like, when I tell you, she probably was sweating up. Like, she was sweating so bad, but maybe they was like freshening her up in between, putting a little talcum powder in between so she wasn't, sweating too much. But then, as soon as they get off, Lynx and Corey, they just fight. And when I tell you that Lynx, he dropped Corey, like Corey, he ran up and he tried to kick him. And Lynx was like, what? So Lynx won that first round. The second round, Corey was actually getting some punches in, but Lynx, because he was holding Corey, Lynx was literally getting, like, punching his head and his shoulders and stuff. I don't know if I would say that Corey won it, but Lynx definitely didn't. I'll say that. And then they just kind of like started, like, Natalie, she just started doing her stuff, and she was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start sending people home because people, they ain't doing their stuff and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, girl, that's just so childish. Like, if y'all want these shows to be real, y'all want these shows to feel authentic, then maybe y'all should stop trying to force these people to fight and everything. And this section, if I miss one fight, honestly, do not blame me. It was so much going on. So I know that Cozy, he stepped, my baby. He stepped up and he was like, anybody want to fight me? I'm from New Orleans. I'm a real one. Blah, 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 blah. Anybody got an issue that they want to get off their chest? Anybody got some pressure? And then, so he was saying something, and it sounded like Alpha Ant was kind of like agreeing with him, but Cozy was like, shut up. And then Natalie was like, this nigga just told you to shut up, and you sitting over there, like, just standing by him. So, of course, they got it in. I don't know that Cozy necessarily won, but he didn't lose. Ant didn't win, though. But it just, honestly, it was just kind of like a tie. It wasn't really anything. They fought, like, I think, like, once or twice. And it was basically kind of just, like, hugging each other a little bit. But, it wasn't, no, that was the other fight. But, yeah, with them, like, it wasn't like a big situation, but it was just kind of like, and I don't honestly feel like if you didn't want to fight him, you should have been like, no, nigga, I was just agreeing with you. Like, I don't want to fight you because there ain't nothing to fight over. But, if you have actual logic and you're just like, that was nothing to fight over, you try and explain yourself, you duck and wreck. Dolly duck and wrecking this, Ant duck and wrecking this, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have an actual conversation where you just like, you know, trying to speak your mind or whatever, like you gotta fight. You gotta fight. You gotta fight. You can't have no respect for nobody. No mutual respect over here. If you have mutual respect, you need to get your ass up out of here. But anyway, so after they fight, they actually shake hands, which I just think a lot of them was doing that, which I was like, that's actually pretty cool. You know, if they can fight and shake hands and be like, another day, you know, I might whoop your ass. But then Jada stands up and then not Jada, Noelle stands up. And she's like, I mean, anybody want to fight me? Anybody want to get it in? And basically it was like, Noelle was like, I don't want to fight anybody. But if somebody wants to fight me. And so Jada was like, well, if you don't want to fight anybody, then why would you stand up? Well, because I want to know if anybody wants to fight me. You know, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter, so I don't do all that. But does anybody have a problem with me? And Jada was like, you know what? Actually, I want to fight you. Noelle, you should have sat down. Because when I tell you Jada took Noelle through that, take me through that. Noelle was getting her ass whooped and Jada was tagging ass, baby. And I was like, oh my God. Didn't know Jada, you know, kicked Noelle ass like about 3 times. And then Jada fought Corey. I think that Jada fought somebody else. I think it was Shotty. But when I tell you, like, it was just fight after fight. So I think that Jada and Shotty actually fought because Natalie was like, it's 2 people that's gonna be leaving, 2 Detroit people. And then Shotty was like, well, I'm not finna leave. Like, I'm not doing that. So I don't know what the problem is, but I'm not leaving. And they fought. Nobody left. But after that, they went inside the house. They picked their rooms. Like, thankfully, there was no drama with that. And then Natalie said that they was going to be going out. And then we see on the Sprinter that they was kind of like saying like who they wanted to like leave and stuff. One thing I will say, in the Sprinter with Paris, I don't remember who else was in there, but it was Paris and somebody. I think that was a Sprinter. Did y'all notice that the security guard was asleep? When I tell you, he was like, I'm so over this right now. Like, they already started feeding these niggas liquor sandwiches. You know, they finna be tussling and fighting all night. It's finna be a whole situation. But this is why I actually liked it, because they went out, they had a good time. They had a good old time. Like, they was in a strip club with the women. They was throwing that money. When I tell you that Tremaine, he was licking on women. Like, when I tell you, they was just doing it, I was like, I'd love to be one of them women in the DR, baby. All the men. I mean, you know, some of them are gay, but it's just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. They some of them attractive. But anyway, so then they get back home, and then it's the next day. You know, they kind of do it where they're kind of like recapping everything that happened. And Tremaine, Paris, I think it was Pootie and somebody else was sitting there, and then John came in, and John was like, they were kind of saying like, who do you think should leave? And John was like, Tremaine, I think that you should leave. Tremaine was like, why do you think I should leave? He was like, well, because of what happened last night, where basically Tremaine and John, they didn't get into it, but Tremaine said something that rubbed John the wrong way, and they started fighting. And when I tell you that first round, it was kind of like a tie. John really kind of got it a little bit more. But when I tell you that second round, they was on that couch, and John had arm, leg, back, and breast. Like, when I tell you, he was fighting with everything he had in him. I don't know if he kicked him in the face. I don't know if he punched him in the face. But Tremaine's eye was effed up. And you could hear it. Like, that's one thing I will say about the Bad Boys. Like, you can hear it when they fight. Like, they not playing. So, they fought. Tremaine, like, went and sat down. I mean, he went to the bathroom, put some ice on his eye. And then, what is it called? Paris, Noelle was in the confessional and in the phone booth, because they have a phone booth where basically you can't have your phones anywhere else but the phone booth, and you got to have a phone conversation like in there. And I think that they do something where you have to call something so that we can hear the other person. But Noelle was basically saying that like when they were in the hotel before they even got there, that they had found out that their grandfather had got a blood clot in their lung, and they were like really sad about it, and they were just like, you know, basically trying to see if the grandfather was okay. Apparently the granddad did not want to get like surgery or whatever. I will say that before Noel actually explained what happened, I was like, you just doing this for this money. Yo, ain't nothing wrong with your damn granddaddy. But I will say, like, from what he was saying, I don't know their pronouns because Noel was saying she, so that's why I'm saying they. But from what Noel was saying, apparently, like they didn't want to have, the grandfather didn't want to have surgery or whatever. So I was just like, yeah, that do kind of seem like it was real. When I tell you Jada came in there, and Jada was like, fuck your granddaddy. Jada didn't say that. Jada was like, fuck your granddaddy. And I'm on that. You want that? I want that. And when I tell you that Jada and Noel, they started thumping. And it was so funny because after they fought, Noel was like, I need to come get my phone. And Jada was like, come on. Your phone right there. Your phone's right there. Come get it. Come get it. Come get it. Noel didn't want to walk in that room, baby. Because Noel's not a fighter. But when I tell you Jada was tagging all of them, Jada got that ass. And honestly, it was funny to me. I don't condone bullying and stuff like that, but, just kind of is what it is. Something I did forget to mention was that Corey, when they were all outside before they got into the house, when they were talking to Natalie, Corey's finger got bent because Corey was fighting so many people and their finger got bent backwards. And Natalie was basically saying, like, there is no injury reserve. So a lot of people were saying that, especially like Tremaine, because Tremaine really wanted to fight Corey again. They were saying, like, Corey should go home because there is no injuries reserve. If you can't fight and you can't keep up with everybody, then you need to go home. I definitely do agree with that. And then another thing that I forgot to mention was there was something else. What did I forget to mention? There was something else that I forgot to mention. Oh well. But next time I'm gonna actually take notes. I'm gonna take notes. So I'm gonna have it, in order and everything. It was just this episode. People were saying that it was boring, so I was just like, oh, it's not gonna be a big deal. I enjoyed the episode. I don't think it was boring. But let me know how let me know how you guys think. Do you think that Tremaine, got his ass whooped? I mean, we know he got his ass whooped. Do you think that John the Don is fine? Do you think that Pootie and Landon gonna be up each other's ass? And not sexually, but do you think that they gonna be, tag teaming bitches? Oh, that's what I forgot to mention, that Pootie, one of them, somebody like I think it was Corey, had threw some water, and Corey threw some water because they were trying to throw it at Lynx, and then Pootie like kind of ran up and was like, yeah, if you're throwing water, I hate when people do stuff like that. That is such a childish thing to do. Like, girl, you know I was throwing it at this person. I was throwing it at this person. Like, seriously. I just feel like stuff like that is so childish. Honestly, I don't really like Pootie right now. I don't. Lena, on the other hand, is very cute and just seems like a really calm person. But Pootie, I'm just like, you do a lot. You seem a little extra. Hey, it's just me. But that was just so childish to me. And honestly, like, Corey had been fighting like 5 different niggas at that point. Not 5, but like maybe 2 or 3. So it's just like you adding to the mix is just kind of childish at that point. But it is what it is. But let me know how y'all think about this episode. And just thank you for watching. This is Petty Talks with Deja.